All right. What is up, guys? So a few things have changed since then. I know that last time I filmed, we got the timing set on the engine, so it is completely fine. We didn't even check. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even gonna check if it is top dead center. It idles like it's supposed to. I think we're just kind of over it, and I know that that's a thing we're supposed to check. Pretty sure Ty got that down. So I mean, I was right next to him when we did it. But yeah, we got other stuff going on with the daily right now. I have power steering leaks. I mean, it's just on these mats. It's getting over the interior here. It's getting pretty messy. So I'm trying to fix this car. I'm trying to get this other car done. Today's a big day, though. We're going to be testing everything between the cooling system. We're going to idle the car for as long as we can. Maybe I'll go for a drive. I'm not really feeling it. But just kind of getting this car running, mainly just bleeding that cooling system and making sure that we have heat flowing in the car is really the big one for me, because that was an issue prior to the timing and stuff like that. So maybe now everything's good now with the new water pump and everything. I'm hoping that that's what the issue was. It's not a really big issue overall, as long as the car isn't overheating. And it wasn't really before, but now it is. I mean, it was overheating at idle, so there was definitely an issue going on with the car, and I don't really know what that was. We replaced the thermostat. The one that was in there was still very good. It looked identical to the one that I put in, just a little crusty from the coolant. And I don't know, it could have been a bad water pump the whole time, but those usually don't fail unless they're leaking, and there wasn't any leaking as far as I know, so that really wasn't the issue as far as I know. But there's a new one on with the timing belt and stuff like that, so we're gonna take a look. We're gonna try and diagnose it. I got the laptop, I have coolant, and we have a car with jumper cables, so we are ready to rock. I don't need to get underneath the car to do anything like that, so we should be okay. But yeah, we're gonna give it a shot, try and get some answers today. Hopefully the car is doing what it's supposed to do. We have everything we need today to do that, and hopefully we can get an idling car that doesn't overheat. So let's get to it. We got coolant. We have plenty of coolant for this car. I also got some Scott towels. We're gonna need those. But we're gonna add coolant in here. We're gonna get the ECU plugged in. We might need jumper cables. I'm assuming we will, because this car does not like to hold charge for some reason. I don't know if this battery is just bad now from the one day, but yeah, I don't know. This thing is weird. There's also a lot of oil underneath here, and it's coming from this valve cover gasket, which is not a real OEM. I always thought it was. It's not. There's a lot of fake Honda parts out there, and I'll probably make a separate video on how to avoid that. But very frustrating stuff. But so I mean, I was gonna go through and get a new valve cover and then paint that to a different color anyway, so it's not a super big deal, but just annoying. One of those things I have to deal with again, but it's totally okay. So because you can tell, like, this is like super cheap rubber. Like, it's cracking here. I mean, they're cracking all along. It just doesn't, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And same thing with here with the rubber seal that goes around the actual valve cover itself. It's just not doing what it's supposed to do. But we're going to add some coolant here. This thing is going to need a lot of coolant, because all of it just got poured out. So I'm hoping that idling the car and all that nonsense is gonna help with this. Alright, that's one down. I mean, this thing is literally empty. I think it was like over half full, and I think we still have more to go. So maybe we won't run out of coolant today. I don't know. I mean, we got a whole thing. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing that, let's just get that funnel system on there. Go that way, because that just makes sense. And with the magic of time, we were able to save. I now can just pour coolant in here without wasting any. Crazy stuff, huh? And then goes for the bleeding process. Let that just get gobbled right up. Yeah, there's still quite a bit in there that needs to get absorbed, but we're essentially trying to bleed this. Not trying to go too crazy on it, because I don't want to overflow this thing. Now what we got to do is plug in that ECU, and hopefully this thing can start on its own. I have the rag out. We have our shop towels there. We're going to grab the ECU, and plug it in, and then maybe the car will start on its own and we can just be happies. We're gonna install this ECU here. I know that I'm not always gonna be the most efficient at this stuff, but I'm definitely gonna try and make sure that stuff is getting done at a relatively decent time. So we have coolant in the system. I'm gonna unlock this door as well so that we don't have to keep walking around to the driver's side. Take this car out of a gear. It wasn't even in gear, but now it's super not in a gear. All right, so now there's that. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if this thing's gonna start. I doubt it, but it might. It's possible. Yeah, there's no charge. This battery just sucks. Make sure negative is on the negative side. Make sure positive is on the positive side. Negative is on the negative side. I mean, we could honestly start this without the car running, but I'm not like that. I'm not that cool. I ain't that cool. Now we get to start this thing. Hopefully bleed the system. I'm also gonna get the laptop going. But as you can see, we have voltage now. And I am going to make sure that this thing is not in gear for the 20th time. Remember, with the SIs, you don't need to clutch in for some reason. I don't know if that's just this car, but you don't need to clutch in, so that's cool. Plenty of bubbles will be coming. Distributor is only on half. Cars. Very vibrating. So we know that this thing is ready to rip. Get some live data, because we're gonna need a data log to see what's up. Stinkies. That's what happens when you don't have the right stuff. Driver is installed and is online. Got the O2 sensor has failed. I think it's a wiring issue, personally. If we go to sensors, everything looks good in here. Car's idling at the correct idle-ish. Yeah, wideband is completely zeroed out right now. Like, there is nothing showing on that. So that says either the sensor failed, and this was an aftermarket one. It completely failed me. But it said it was OEM. They typically fail within months. And I really haven't even idled this car. This car hasn't been driven really that much, so it has failed. I don't know a good solution to that. Apparently there is no good solution to these wide bands out there. I don't know. I have no idea. But I do know that it failed, and I don't have anything else other than that. But I don't think that fluid level has changed at all on the tub there, so I wonder what's up with that. Car's taking its time to get up to temp, but it's not really getting any bubbles, so I wonder if it's just perfect now, but definitely a bubble coming because this is getting bigger. I'll update you guys if I see any noticeable changes. Okay, so first thing that I noticed, we have the heat blowing right now. I have the fan on max.
The car hasn't overheated at all. The temperature has climbed significantly since blah blah blah. So right now engine temperature is at 175 degrees. So I think the thermostat opens at 170, which is OEM, so should be open by now. I have noticed that the level of coolant in the bleeder, or the catch can I'm going to call it, has risen. We're starting to get bubbles, so maybe now we're starting to actually get stuff flowing through. The car hasn't overheated yet, so we know that the car is not overheating. So now that coolant's actually flowing, we'll probably get some bubbles coming up here. I didn't realize how slow the system takes for it to actually get warmed up and stuff like that, but it's been idling for maybe 10-12 minutes, so maybe things, I mean, we're definitely seeing some bubbles now, so I think it's going to take a minute. So we're going to be idling the car for a while, and hopefully we can get some good answers. But the car hasn't overheated, still not feeling really any heat coming out of the heater core, so maybe there's still an issue there, but give it like 15 more minutes. But yeah, we're starting to see some bubbles here, so I think that thermostat finally opened up. So hopefully we can get some heat down to that lower radiator hose, but usually it would have overheated by now. We haven't gotten that. I also have the system set up to where I have the fan on overriding heat, so maybe we won't need that. But if the car was overheating, we would know. I don't know what the stock temperature is, but there shouldn't be anything going on. The car is at 181 degrees. It's at a decent temperature, but like I said, we're still bleeding. If I need to continue to bleed, I will. I'm gonna go fuel the radiator hose. Definitely getting some bubbles. So we'll keep idling. We'll turn on that fan to make sure we're good, but the car isn't overheating per se, because this bar hasn't moved here. I'm not getting any codes for it. It's at 190 degrees. I don't know what's overheating on these engines, so I don't know what kicks that up. Definitely some bubbles coming up. And that's me squeezing it too, so the thermostat has opened up now. Takes a long while for this thing to get up to operable temperature. So, all right, so I had to rehook up the jumpers. The car's been sitting for a minute. I don't know what the problem is, but I cannot seem to get this thing to start 2 times in a row. Obviously the first start's fine. That's probably when there's no fuel flowing. These injectors could be not functioning properly too, but the battery's super weak on this car, and I find that there's obviously an issue with this thing trying to start. I'm not sure why that is. This car, I don't know. I don't really understand that. I mean, we were getting error codes before. The car's at 212 degrees, huh? That can't be right. We're not even data logging. Let's data log now. Yeah, 174 degrees. Overheating protection at 212. We did reach that, so it did turn on. It gave us an error code for that. Override fan at 199 degrees. We had it switched to 150 because we just wanted the fan to turn on at all times. I don't even know what the stock temperature is, like right off the bat. Well, we can find out. It was in the 150, 140 range, I think. I remember seeing it. It was climbing on like 156. VTEC is enabled. We do have VTEC on this ECU and the car itself. Yeah, let's upload it and see if this helps. Maybe this car will start now. Oh. Idles right at about 1,000. There's a stock D16 P28 map tune. I mean, this is just a stock P28 tune, straight from the system. So probably have to tune it a little bit better, but temperature is rising. So yeah, I don't know. We'll idle it for a few more minutes. I know the coolant rose just a tad in there, but we'll see. All right, so I'm still here. Just a little update. I know that I kind of said I wanted to wrap up, but the car is doing what it's supposed to be doing. The fan is kicking on when it's supposed to at that 199 degrees. It drops in temperature every time it does do that because the fan is doing its job. I also noticed that the crap ton of bubbles came out. Getting fumed out. A crap ton of bubbles came out. This is actually pretty fucking hot now. We're still getting little bubbles out, but I'm trying to idle this thing as long as I can here without hurting the engine, but it's not getting hurt. So the temperature is floating around 192 degrees, around 195. It does get warm, but it's been idling like it's supposed to, so I'm just trying to get it all out, and it's been doing what it's supposed to do. So that makes me super happy. This fan, it's time to turn on. So once it passes 199, this will start blowing air, cool down the engine again. Like I said, we're still getting bubbles coming out. I mean, this could be hours. I could be running this thing for hours before, you know, we actually get this thing to idle where it's supposed to be properly. But the car's at 202 degrees. The fan is now on. So yeah, I mean, this car is coming along. It's just gonna take some time. I'm just playing with it. I noticed that when I stopped idling the car, took a huge break, a ton of air just cycled up. So it's probably pressure from the system, kind of keeping it up there too, but another quick discovery, we actually now have heat in the car. There was just a ton of air in the system. I could tell because there was no heat getting in the coolant, but now we are getting some heat and some smellies all coming out from there. The car is idling at 192 degrees. We are doing good. Car is blowing some heat now. It's not super hot, but all we did was rev up the engine. Massive air bubble came up and a ton of bubbles went out. Because I noticed that when I felt the coolant hoses, I was turning the heat on and off and comparing photos to see if the lever was opening like it was supposed to. Because this system is a little different than the one that's on the older models for the 96 to 98. The 99 and 2000 have a different system, different heater core, all that stuff. But I noticed that the hoses in the back here were not even warm. I was like, there's got to be something up with that. So now that these are actually warm, coolant is getting in. This level went down. Still bubbles coming up. So I do know that there is still more in the system that needs to come out. But once that big air bubble came out, all the coolant came in. Car's blowing heat now. Like, it's fine. There's probably still more air in there. It's not super hot per se, but there could be other reasonings for that. There's probably still more air in the system. Still quite a bit more bubbles coming out. So there's no blockages. The car's blowing heat, which is the one thing I wanted to get done. So lots of winning today. We're getting discoveries made. The car is idling on its own with no overheating or nothing. So it's even at 188 degrees right now. So we're getting it done. This thing's gonna be rolling here soon, and I cannot wait. You guys have no idea. Cannot frickin' wait. Alright. I should be done with discoveries. If anything else comes up, I'll let you know. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, take care. I'll see you guys in the next one. Times are getting tough right now, so try and stay strong and be cool. Take care, guys.